Hi guys, so in this video I'm going to show how I made this Warhammer modular diorama. And as you can see, it's kind of built into this little box. It's got magnets all around it, so that's how it's going to be modular. I can sort of like attach more to it, and yeah, obviously got some little lights in there as well. So I wanted to 3D print a box just because I could make it the exact size I needed, and obviously have the holes in it for all the magnets and everything else. So using Tinkercad, nice easy software this. As you can see, simple box with the holes around it and a little bit out the back to accommodate the battery pack for the lights. I'm using my Anycubic Photon Mono X, guys. There's a link in the description. I've had this little 3D printer for, well, over a year now, and absolutely love it. And I think they are doing some deals as well, guys. So click on the link and yeah, see what sort of discount you can get. It took about 4 hours to come out, and yeah, this is it. Needed a little bit of sanding around the edge, but not too bad. And the good thing is, obviously now I can make loads more of the same size, which is pretty cool. Because I was looking on Amazon for some sort of like photo frame boxes, but they were pretty expensive, and yeah, weren't quite as deep as I wanted. And as I said, this is going to be like modular, so that's why I'm putting some magnets in the top, bottoms, and all the sides, just so that I can sort of store them on top of each other. Because as I always say, whenever I'm making dioramas, I do run out of space. So this way, it's a nice sort of compact size. Can be wall mounted. I could put some hooks on the back, so yeah, we can put it on the walls as well. Or say they just sort of stack on top of each other. I'm also going to include these little LED lights in all of them. The main reason for this is to go around the edge. That's why I've got like a beveled edge or recessed edge at the front, just so the lights can be hidden behind it. But also if I do any like explosions or any gunshots or any of that kind of thing inside the diorama, again I can use the LEDs to sort of light up that area. And yeah, simple little on off. I've done it so the battery pack is facing outwards at the back there, so if you do need to sort of change the batteries, it's easy to do so. So as you'll see from the thumbnail, this one's obviously set in like an old sort of crypt kind of thing. So I'm going to make some bricks, and the easiest way to make bricks is to get this sort of blue styrene foam sort of stuff, and then yeah, cut it up into the size sort of you need. Obviously this stuff cuts really easy, which is pretty cool. And yeah, once it's all cut up, obviously these are quite thick, so I don't need them to be that thick, so I can cut them in half, which is great. Because obviously then I get two for the price of one, which is pretty cool. And yeah, it's just a case of doing loads of that and then having a variety of sizes. So I've like big squares, little squares, and then the rectangular ones. And I found the best way to sort of stress these up, make them look a bit more worn, weathered, and well, brick-like. Put them in a little box, put some stones in there, there's a few sharp ones and some just round ones, and then give it a good old shake. You don't have to shake it for too long, and then yeah, the little sort of styrene things come out, and yeah, definitely nice and weathered, dented, and more stone looking, which is pretty awesome. So I've got a nice big box full of these now, and then yeah, bring these over. So these are going to be put obviously at the back, the floor, and the sides, and yeah, so it's going to look like a sort of an old crypt kind of thing. And good old Gorilla Glue, I like this stuff, especially with this sort of foam bricks. You don't want to use super glue, as that just eats into the foam. So PVA glue, or say Gorilla Glue, which is my preferred one, just because this definitely has a stronger bond, and it does dry a lot quicker than the PVA glue, because that's sort of like an overnight job, whereas the Gorilla Glue, yeah, in about 2-3 hours it's generally sort of rock solid, which is pretty cool. So no real patterns to the bricks, yeah, just put them in higgledy-piggledy. With the floor I just generally use the larger square ones, just to make it a bit more consistent there. And then there's obviously quite a few gaps here and there. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to fill them with this little bit of sand. I'm also going to use this for the top as well, just to make the top look like, well, like a rough sandy top bit. Yeah, a bit of, again, Gorilla Glue in the gaps, and then just sprinkle the sand in. It does get a bit messy because obviously there's loads left over, so I'll kind of like to shake the box around a bit to try and get it in all the nooks and crannies. And then yeah, so the lights will all be working. I'll just check those, but I want to spray the box. So we get some masking tape, and I'm just covering up just the bulbs, as it'd be nice to actually cover up the wire, so that's not sort of as noticeable. But yeah, definitely some masking tape over all the bulbs. And there we go, all ready for priming. But again, with this styrene foam, you can't use a normal sort of primer, as that tends to eat into it. So I'm using this special one from Army Painter, which is a terrain one, and this one does go on all this sort of foam board really well. So yeah, nice easy technique of obviously painting this. It's all in black, and then a bit of dry brushing with white just to hit all the edges and the highlights. And yeah, it gives it a nice stone look very quickly, very easy. So yeah, I do like things when they're nice and simple. So I'm looking at making more of these kind of little dioramas, guys, and basically I've been looking on Pinterest for sort of Warhammer artwork, as that's what I'm going to try and recreate in these small little boxes. So the one that I sort of saw for this one was a dead space marine. I believe it was a special little miniature that came out. So I'm going to kind of recreate the sort of look of that miniature, which is why I've gone for sort of this crypt looking thing. The nice little stone sort of seat you can see in the background there. That was obviously 3D printed as well. And then just taking, a normal space marine and doing a bit of chopping up. Obviously, because I want him seated, so I've tried to find some legs that are kind of bent, just so I don't want to have to do too much chopping up. So yeah, got two legs here, a lefty and a righty, obviously, that are nice and bent, and yeah, should get him in a nice sort of seated position. So I'm not too sure what the actual model was called. I think it might have been just called Dead Space Marine, but say it was definitely a special one-off sort of miniature that came out. Looks pretty cool, and so that's why I really fancied the idea of doing something very similar. So guys, if you've seen any sort of like Warhammer artwork that looks pretty cool and that would look good in the diorama, yeah, let me know, and then I can go and check it out. Obviously it needs to be reasonably small, because say these are the size boxes that I'm doing with this one that I want to do with all of them, just because again it's a nice space saver, and when they sort of obviously all on top of each other, it'll look pretty cool. So I was going through my bit box trying to find sort of a suitable hand. I couldn't find any hands that didn't sort of hold anything. This one looked pretty good, so yeah, just goes to snipping off the weapon. All the bits I do sort of snip off. If possible, I kind of keep them, just because you never know when you might need a bit of a gun or a bit of a hand or whatever it is. So yeah, cleaned up this one, tried to sort of get it as neat and nice as possible. But then when I offered it up to the miniature, it kind of didn't really have the right sort of angle. So I did another hand or another arm and did the same thing, chopped off the weapon, and this one seemed to have a better position. I did a bit more chopping at the top of the arm to get it to fit nicely. But yeah, so I've now got another spare arm in my bits box. And there we go, so I sprayed him black, getting ready to paint him, and then I kind of realised I hadn't done anything with the gaps in between the arms and the body and the base and the legs. So yeah, good old green stuff, using that as a bit of a filler. But then when I was doing this, I was having another look at the reference picture that I was looking at, and he's actually got like a cloak on him, so I've tried to put a little cloak bit going between his legs there, and he also had a few more bits on him, like a few of those little skulls, and then those other little things that I keep forgetting what they're called. Yeah, you guys know what they are, leave it in the comments, but yeah, I always forget what these things are called, but I added a few more of them on anyway. And then I primed it all in black again, and then good old slap chop painting, here we go. So yeah, good old dry brushing first with a bit of grey. I'm starting to use a smaller brush to do the dry brushing, just because this does get in all the, well, not exactly the nooks and crannies, but it does make it easier to get into certain parts. And then yeah, dry brushing with white. And again, I say it all the time, I just love it how it looks like this, especially for obviously a dead space marine. It does give it that sort of eerie black and white sort of doom and gloom sort of look. But I did want to paint him anyway, so I did sort of carry on. But yeah, I love how he looks just, well, like this. So those lovely people over at Chaos Cards recently sent me loads of Citadel contrast paints, which is really cool because there's quite a lot of colours I haven't got. So guys, don't forget, I'm going to be down at Chaos Cards this coming Saturday. That's the 21st. I'm going to be there from 12 midday till, well, whenever I finish, I guess. So if you want to come down and see me, see the Warhammer 40k chess set that I recently built, and if you want to come down and join me for a painting session, it would be great to see you guys down there. It's £2 to do the painting session, and they include the paints and the miniatures. So yeah, just bring yourselves down and let's have some fun. Oh, just forgot to say, you can bring your own miniatures and your own paint if you really wanted to. So yeah, obviously using the Citadel contrast paint here, and it's the ultramarine blue, and yeah, it's going on really well, really nicely. So obviously most of this figure is going to be blue. There's a few little bits that are gold on his trim. The actual stonework behind him, I kind of leave it as it is because obviously it looks kind of like nice stonework. Obviously the chains that are on there, going to get a little bit of silver on those. But yeah, nice little simple thing to sort of paint. But yeah, I am starting to really sort of get to like Space Marines, well, quite a lot now. And I'm certainly looking forward to when Army Painter bring out their, well, their contrast paints or speed paints. Metallic ones, so not too sure when they're going to come out, but yeah, can't wait to get my hands on those. And I've just suddenly realised I think these things are called purity seals, aren't they? Or am I thinking of something completely different? But that sort of jumped in my head. So I'm going to have a little go at sort of highlight edging. Obviously still very new to this, so yeah, don't criticise me, guys. But yeah, just going to go around the edges, a little bit of a light blue, just to help differentiate the, well, obviously the Space Marines armour here. And yeah, not looking too bad at all. Don't forget, guys, let me know in the comments if there is any kind of like Warhammer artwork that you've seen that would look good as a little diorama. But yeah, again, don't forget, obviously the dioramas I'm going to do are relatively small. As you can see, the size of this box is, well, it's the size I'm going to be doing all the dioramas. So fortunately, he came off nice and easy, because sometimes 3D prints, well, they kind of break easy. And in fact, most of the wings behind, I kind of, well, they all kind of fell off. So stuck him in, obviously turn the lights on, and yeah, it lights him up rather nice. So I've got a few little 3D printed bits, some candles, candelabras, that sort of stuff that I've, well, had for ages. I kind of printed these lot out when I was doing more of the D&D sort of style stuff. So yeah, I've got a box full of, well, bits and pieces really. Obviously I want to make the thing look a little bit older, so using this sort of wool here, or cotton wool, yeah, just going to sort of pull it apart and sort of put that in places to hopefully make it look like it's, well, cobwebs. But yeah, keep pulling this stuff apart, although it does tend to stick in a weird way to, well, everything around it. So I have put a little bit of glue in this thing, but yeah, it did take a lot of pushing, persuading, prodding to get it in place and to, well, get it off my fingers really. And there we go, my first modular Warhammer diorama. And yeah, I'm really pleased with how it's come out. I think it was pretty cool. I love the fact that it obviously is going to be stackable, and obviously the magnets will keep everything together. And yeah, definitely have the lights in there is a good idea, as obviously some of these boxes could be quite dark. So yeah, guys, don't forget, leave in the comments what you'd like to see me make next. And if you are in the UK and want to come down and see me and the Warhammer 40k chess that I've done, then yeah, it'd be great to see you guys down at Chaos Cards. Obviously there's an address link down below. And yeah, I'll be there with my Warhammer 40k chess set and doing a painting session, which will be pretty awesome. No surprises, I probably will be doing a slap chop painting myself, but obviously you guys can yeah, do whatever kind of painting you like. I am also going to do some filming down at Chaos Cards, so for obviously those of you that can't make it down there, you'll be able to see, well, how I get on and what I do. Okay guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. Take care of yourselves, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye for now.